Alrighty, welcome everyone. My name is Mackenzie. I'm the founder of Grad Jobs, and today I'm interviewing Daksh. Daksh is from Sydney and completed his bachelor's in data science at UNSW in 2021. He started as a tech consultant with Infosys back in Feb 2022. A little while back, he also became a grad job student, and more recently, about I think 9 months ago or so, he started working as a data science with the ATO. And in this podcast, we're going to learn about Daksh's story and hopefully get some tips and tricks on becoming a data scientist, landing data jobs, and get some insights into his story. If you would like to contact him, he's happy for you to reach out on LinkedIn. And as always, if you want to contact me, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. Let's get into it. Welcome, Daksh. Thanks for coming.
No, thanks for hosting me. Really appreciate it. And it's always good to see your lovely face again. So,
yeah. Thank you. Likewise. And as I was saying before, I think your background looks very aesthetic. It looks like you're about to do a day in the life of a data scientist vlog or something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. So why did you get into data?
I think one of the big reasons was, okay, let's first go back to high school Daksh in year 12, trying to pick his uni sort of subjects at UNSW. One thing was I did not know at all for the last 3, 4, 10 years what I wanted to do ever in life, right? But one thing I did know was that I don't want to be bored and I want to problem solve. And at that time, I was really stressing on, should I pick engineering? Should I pick commerce? Should I pick finance? Should I just pick maths or computer science? And at that time, there was this up and coming field called data. I was by chance lucky enough at UNSW Open Week to get handed a flyer for a data science talk. I sat in there, and for half an hour, I was completely enthralled by what the world of data is. And particularly, it was the intersection between maths, computer science, and business, which I loved. It meant that I would be always learning new things through maths and computer science, and through business, I would be actually applying them so they wouldn't stay in the theory world. It would have a real world impact. So the intersection of these three fields is something I love to be at, and that's why I chose data.
Awesome. Has it lived up to the hype?
Yeah, I think for me it has, especially working as a data scientist within the Australian government. Our data sets are huge, and we have a chance to really use the theory and the mathematical problems to apply it to something real. I would say a lot of companies these days just tag in the word data science, machine learning, statistics to anything. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people might find in that it's not really what they expected. But yeah, I found a good experience with it.
Awesome. I'm keen to learn about how you got your first job or dig into the job search when you were at university. So
yes,
you've probably experienced, it can be it's a bit strange. You go from focusing on getting good grades and studying, and you kind of think, oh, I have to get a job. How was that process for you?
I think getting a job or really hits you when you're in your final years of uni and you're about to finish your study and you're like, I need a job now. What am I going to do with this degree? And as soon as that flip switches, you're completely sort of lost within the space. You don't know really where to start. So you ask your careers counselors at UNSW or whatever uni you're at, and they'll completely give you generic advice. Like, oh, just apply to Grad Connection, just apply to Grad Jobs Australia, and keep applying for 30 or 40 jobs online, and you'll eventually hit it. But there's no targeted approach that you're doing. So you're completely lost. So yeah, it's really frustrating when you start searching.
And but you managed to do pretty well in getting your first role, right? You got a tech consultant role at Infosys. So although it was challenging,
yes,
you made it work. What do you think was your what got you into that company?
I think just like some grad jobs principles. Like I was in that line of thinking before I met you guys. I actually connected with a few people within Infosys, like some of the principal consultants through LinkedIn, and just chatted to them about what they're doing, what they've been up to, what's next in their space, how they got to where they are from where they were. And eventually just sort of said, hey, do you have any opening roles for entry-level positions or graduates that are one with like my background, so have some accomplishment with completing a degree and within the same field as you. So that conversation eventually led me to an interview. So connection and building relationships was a key factor in the first job.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's funny when you do the analysis, you realize that all of these job offers, they just stem from conversations, like
exactly
whether it's education or whether it's networking. So that's fantastic. And did you also try to secure offers at other companies through grad applications and things like that when you were at uni?
Yes, I did. I applied to around 30 or 40 companies through LinkedIn, through Seek, through Grad Connection. But most of them, I did not go through LinkedIn or through other means to form some sort of relationship. Or some I did, I would say around 10%, but Infosys was the one that hit, and you only need one opportunity to strike.
And did you manage to secure any interviews with those other companies, or is it just all of the luck fell with Infosys?
I did manage to secure a few interviews. So I secured KPMG, Deloitte. I secured one at Foxtel, IAG, and one at Westpac. They had a graduate program. So there were a few companies. I went through a few rounds of interviews as well for each of those. But yeah, as you know, Infosys was the one that hit, so I just stuck with it.
Awesome. And so you grabbed that role, and that was, what was that? I think I know what it was focused on, but just for the benefit of others, what were you doing?
Yep. So with Infosys, it depends really on where they place you. So I was placed within NBN primarily as a data engineer. They say it was a graduate role, but really it was like a proper role. I was consulting for them for doing any data engineering task. So involving creating data pipelines, extract, transform, load, for those who know, using AWS, using Alteryx, various Microsoft applications in their suite. So yeah, primarily data engineering work I was doing.
Awesome. And then you looked to kind of move on to a more of a data, really kind of more of a data science role.
Yes. Yeah, data science was always within my mind. It is quite tough to land a data science graduate role. There's not that many job opportunities, so you need a really strong portfolio. But yeah, if you keep having it within your vision, you're eventually going to reach it. So that was where I was next.
And what do you think made you successful in securing the role with the APO? Because it is quite a prestigious role, and you've climbed there quite quickly.
Yeah. I think the biggest success factor is being the candidate that they're looking for. Okay, this might sound like really generic advice, but it's so true. If you're hitting everything that they're looking for, there's no reason why you're not going to get an interview, especially with something like the government. For data science specifically, though, I would say that you need to showcase your technical expertise through a project or a specific experience. And I would say really go above and beyond in your project. Don't do simple things, just like a linear regression, for those who know. Really dive deep into a specific niche, like machine learning with finance or machine learning engineering, and create something, showcase it on your resume. And the other thing was providing something of value to a business or a client or someone else to showcase how you've applied data science in the real world. So I had those two things on my resume, and I think that really stood out to them.
And did you have to make a cover letter or a key selection criteria document for this role?
Yes, I did. It was a cover letter. I didn't have to make a cover letter per se, but in the application sort of response, they asked key questions where you had to write three paragraphs on sort of why you, what skills do you have for this role, and what experience do you have. So basically what's in a cover letter anyway. So having that ready was really helpful.
And how was the interview process?
I think the interview process for me went quite smooth. There's two components, behavioral and technical. So because data science is a field that I really like, I'm always reading about the technical stuff anyway. So the technical questions weren't too hard. You just need to know your stuff with the field. And the behavioral side, I had Mackenzie for that help. So I structured my responses according to the Grad Jobs course, and that helped me a lot instead of waffling.
Awesome. And how soon did you find out about the offer? Did it take them long? Well,
Yes. Unfortunately for government, things move quite slow. So it took around 2-3 months to say I was in the merit pool. And then from the merit pool it's basically like just before you're picked, the ATO can be like, hey, I like this candidate, and then they pick you from the merit pool. So another 2 months from there. So total, I would say 5 months. So I'm actually in the role.
Yeah, it's a bit of a process with the government, isn't it? It's a bit different.
Yes.
How are you finding working with, or maybe you don't have to answer this, but I know you can't go into too much detail about your role, but how is government versus industry?
I can say this. I think a lot of preconceived notions about how government may be, like slow, a lot of old people that don't know what they're doing. I think that's really misguided. It is quite a really fast, very knowledgeable place as well. A lot of people with great backgrounds, especially technically. A lot of people working with PhDs, masters, they're all in senior positions, so they know what they're doing. So I would implore people to expand their choice if they haven't considered government before. It's not as bad as you may think.
I'll leave it there with government. So what are the biggest mistakes you see other people making when it comes to job searching?
I think
the two biggest.
The two biggest. Okay, the first biggest is not taking a targeted approach, and the second biggest is not trusting the process. I'll speak about the first one. I think the first one, anyone who's listening to this probably knows about. It's that there is a way to maximize the potential for job searching, and that's outlined in the course that Mackenzie's done. You can't just apply online and hit 40-50 applications and then get no results and then say, why isn't this working? There's a couple of key things you need to do. One of them being build relationships. So yeah, not taking a targeted approach is one of the biggest ones. And for the second is not trusting the process. Job searching takes time and effort. You might not get immediate results like within 3 or 4 weeks, and it might take you a few months, but you will get there if you're taking the best approach. So you just got to trust yourself. That will work out.
Awesome advice. And with the targeted approach, so you mentioned a couple things there, building relationships.
Mhm.
One of them. Is there anything else that you think would describe a tailored or a targeted approach?
Yes. It depends on the role you're going for. Say I can speak for data science. So if you're going for a data scientist role, try and show that you're already at that level, that you are already capable of being a data scientist from day one if you step in the company. So what does that mean? That means you need to showcase some sort of past experience you have working with data, as close to real life as you can, not just a uni assignment. Go really above and beyond to showcase your knowledge. And as I mentioned before, showcase how you can apply your knowledge to business. It needs to be there in your resume. So embody the role that you want to be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where else should I go? I'm thinking, what's the best next question?
There was this one thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
It's like for interviews, it really helps speaking. So a particular method of speaking. I have been out of practice, but there are a lot of sort of speech modulation coaches out there online. They help you relax and form your thoughts in a clear, coherent manner. And I have a name noted down, and his name is Vin Jiang. He's really famous on TikTok, YouTube. So that's VINH, Vin. Space.
I think I've seen this guy. Has he got a YouTube? Like, does he have YouTube ads and stuff?
I don't know if he has YouTube ads. I found him through TikTok, just through his videos. So GIANG. But I saw a couple of his videos. They were really nice. It doesn't have to be him specifically, but yeah, anything that helps people form their thoughts better would be great for interviews.
Yeah, communication it's one of the most important things when it comes to I mean, in life, right?
Exactly.
I mean, selling yourself at work, selling yourself for a job, it's kind of sales. I mean, if you could summarize it, it's sales.
So pretty much. And I think this key thing helps me so much internally as well.
Mm-hmm.
Selling yourself for promotions and everything, it's always going to be a factor of your life. You can't escape it. So just get good at it.
100%. And yeah, we could dig into this for ages, but you have to also be sold on yourself, right?
Yeah, you have to believe yourself. And that's where my philosophy is, like, if you put in the work, you start believing yourself anyway. You can see the effort you've done and you can gas yourself up. It's like, yeah, I am this person. I'm him. So yeah.
There is a bit of a gap though, right? It's when you're not the person, you want to be the person, and there's this gap in between, and you kind of have to, I guess, it's almost like fake it till you make it.
You have to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is.
Yep.
So you have to start.
And it's I don't know how much you've looked into sales, but it's a very key principle there as well. If you don't, like, the first step is, do you believe in your product?
Yeah.
And if you don't believe in your product, it's going to be very hard to sell.
Were you in sales before?
No, I wasn't. But starting a business where you have to sell stuff, I had to quickly become good at sales, or at least competent at sales.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I spent a lot of time learning.
Yeah. What sort of things did you look at? Like books or webinars? And
So yeah, the first thing was I came across, it was a course, and it was this free course online. I think my friend shared it to me in a Google Drive, and it was about business and about sales and things like, it was very basic, like high level. And then I kind of realized, oh, that's how this stuff kind of works. And then I dug in, and I think what I try to do now is just figure out who's really good at the thing and just try and find information from that person. So, for example, one of the people I really, really like on sales, he's actually passed away a while ago, unfortunately. Yep. Zig Ziglar, if you've heard of Zig.
No, I haven't. Okay. Zig Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar. He's a master. He's really a master. A lot of the top people in sales today seem to use a lot of his strategies.
Yeah.
So things like that. And there's lots of good books out there on sales too.
Yeah. Okay. This will be useful. I may, like, I was thinking maybe next year, next 2 years, get up in the startup world. So might be something to look at.
Yeah. I think it's really, sales is very interesting. It's quite fun, but a good skill to have. I think, yeah. I was actually going to ask you this. If you had to go back to the beginning, if you go back to 17-year-old Daksh,
yeah,
at knowing what you know now,
yeah,
what would you do?
I think one of the biggest things is in uni, or if you have the means to be at uni, try a lot of different things. I did not participate in any societies. I did not do any consulting competitions. I did not do anything leadership. I just studied and went about my day with my friends, and that was it. So I think definitely explore and put yourself out there for everything. And it doesn't have to be related to your field. That's the thing. I would say keep your mind open and just try it. So even if I was in data science, I should have gone to the finance society and done a case competition. Even if I was in data science, I should have gone to the art society or done some sort of architecture thing. The reason I'm saying this is opening your mind shows you a lot of different opportunities, and you always learn from new experiences. So I would say try a lot of things, and you might find something that's super valuable to you.
What when you say super valuable, what specifically do you mean?
Yeah, sure. So one of the ways something can be super valuable is through building connection, which I mentioned quite earlier. So I actually have a younger sister, and I've told her this advice. She's 4 years younger around. So she was in uni last year, and she's gone into consulting clubs and stuff. And the people she's met is quite amazing, and the connections she's built quite amazing as well. So she's had, through joining societies and just partaking in competitions, she's been able to secure three internships already within her first 2 years of uni. So those relationships have been quite helpful. Another thing of value is just learning what's out there. Sometimes you have a very closed off mind of what the possibilities of the world are. Just meeting new people opens that up.
100%. So information, and I guess through information, I guess almost as a subset of information is people.
Yeah, definitely.
New information. Gather more information. That's
pretty much. Pretty much. It's all these things are super simple, but I feel like people don't commit themselves 100% to it. So they don't reap the benefits.
Yeah, definitely spot on. Gathering information, because when you come out of school, you have such a limited amount of information that's been available to you, right, through the school system, unless you've had some other kind of experiences. And it's hard to find information related to your passions or what you're interested in unless you actually just go and do lots of things and see what sticks. Even
if you're not just coming out of school, say you're like within your final year of uni, or you just started studying a master's or something, it always helps meeting new people and doing new experiences. Your view of the world can change within a conversation. So keep your eyes and ears open to people.
100%. And it just takes one new idea to change things, right?
Yeah, definitely.
A little example of that for me was when I realized that I could, bring in old clients to help at Grad Jobs.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing that. I think.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen the LinkedIn posts.
Yeah. So that was a crazy moment. I thought, wow, and it changed everything. Just bringing everyone back to help others. It was fantastic. There are lots of things like that. What's something? Have you had a moment like that?
I have with sort of like key things within my job. So like getting I was too siloed within the theoretical stuff. Getting more, I spoke to a few people within data, and they're like, no one really cares about that. Just start implementing real world things. So I shifted my attention from getting as deep into the theory as I could to real world things, and that paid off with me getting quicker internal promotions. So that helped me quite a bit after just one conversation.
Love it. Do you mind if I ask you a couple more questions?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So let's say you're talking to someone who is trying to get their dream job. They've tried a few things. Maybe they've messaged some people on LinkedIn. They've applied to some jobs, and they feel like they're trying hard, but they're not really hearing back.
Yeah.
What would you say to them? And they're kind of complaining, saying, "It's not working for me."
I think first is to review what you've been doing and review your strategy. You may think that you've been doing the most you can, but sometimes it's not. You need to go back to the materials you've been taught or strategies you've been trying to employ and ask yourself, am I actually doing what I'm meant to be doing? And if that's a no, then you know where to go. If that's a yes, then we can move on to the next stage. If you have been working with the strategy 100%, I would say it's just patience. Getting a job is quite hard. Some people, it can take 3 to 4 months. And one advice I could give is widen your scope for a bit. Have your dream job in the back of your head, obviously, but maybe you can get an adjacent job to your dream job and just get in the market first, develop some skills there. And then through the experience you gain through the adjacent sided job, target your dream job, which is what I did. So I targeted a consultancy / data engineering role. Through that experience, I went into data science. So scope widen a little bit and you should be able to land it.
Love it. Outside of work, what's the thing that excites you the most?
Oh, right now it's just trying a lot of different hobbies. So one of them is the classic tech bro hobby, bouldering. So quite into that right now. I had to give it a go myself and see what the fuss was about. So go there every Wednesday. Another thing is dance I do. So dance is actually really good cardio. Been doing like a couple of dance classes every week or so. And if you guys are into fitness or into the gym, that's your cardio session done for the week. And it's really, really nice. A lot of sweaty. And another thing is I'm quite a big foodie. So I've been going around, so I work within the CBD and I've been going around after work. We target a new bar every 2 weeks. And I have a list of like 30 different bars in my notes app. I do happy hour. So I've been trying them out and rating them at the moment, seeing which ones are best or not. So I'd say, just having fun basically with my life at the moment, exploring different things.
Living the dream. Living the dream. I love it. And last question. To people who are, say they're in the Grad Jobs program.
Yeah.
What would be your biggest bits of advice on how to get the most out of it and just how to get a job, like a dream job, as quickly as possible?
I'd say the biggest advice is follow it properly. It's this most simplest advice, but I would say there's not that many resources that are actually, I don't know if there are. There's not a resource that's as comprehensive as what Mackenzie's written. So if you're really following every single point in there, there's no chance that you won't get a dream job or an adjacent job out of it. I would say for a dream job, open your ears and eyes to something that may be a little bit out of left field, but will get you there eventually. Sometimes it may not be within the stars for you to land that dream job role within 3 weeks, but that's okay. You can land another role and then go for your dream job after. So just keep moving and just keep getting any opportunity you can.
Awesome. Great advice. Can I answer one more question?
Yeah, all good.
Really curious. I feel like you'll have a great answer for this. What do you think's the how do I phrase this? What's the main thing that you want to get out of your life?
What do I want to get out of my life? I think being fulfilled and being content. I'll speak on the second one first. I think right now, within this day and age as well, there's always sort of an anxiety of, am I doing the most I can be? Am I reaching the highest I can be? I'd say, yeah, it's always good to be, looking forward, looking to the stars as well. But I'd like to get to a stage in my life where I'm just, content with where I'm at and relaxed and being like, this is my life and I love it. And to wake up thinking that every day is my dream, pretty much.
At peace? Is that a good summary? At peace?
At peace, yeah, with where I'm at. I have everything I wanted. And I'm not at envy with anyone else. And I'm just loving life where I'm at. It's my big goal.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, Daksh. That was wonderful.
Before I go, I wanted to ask that question back to you. What do you want to get out of life?
Oh boy. I mean, I could reel off a few things, but if I'm keeping it really simple, like you, it's pretty much the same. It's, for me, that's why I brought up the word peace.
Yeah.
Being at peace.
Pretty much, yeah.
And there's quite a few things that go into that, but that's the main one.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's, for me, the next thing I'd say is just living by values that they're important to me, like very core, simple values. I just can't go against those. And if I'm living in accordance with them, it leads to peace, right? It's kind of a subset of peace, living in accordance with values.
Yeah.
Another key thing for me is about providing and being, someone who can look after the family.
That's a great thing to aspire towards, and I think maybe that was in the back of my head as well. But as soon as you said that, I was like, "Yeah, me too."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more for me. It's more about being kind of the provider, someone people can go to when they're in need, when they need help.
Yeah,
they're always someone who's always going to be there for others. For me, it's about being at peace. A lot less about, a lot of people say like, I want to have a nice fancy car, like a nice, like have loads and loads of money so I can do stuff. For me, it's like the material things are just kind of like, as long as people are healthy, people are at peace, they're able to live a good life. That's kind of what I feel like. That's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to, look after my family.
Yeah, Makes sense.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming today, Daksh. Really appreciate it, and keep in touch, please.
Yeah, all good. No, thank you. I hope the background noise wasn't too much. There's a bit of lawn mowing going around in the neighborhood.
Can't hear it at all.
Okay, it must be the Google algorithm then. Takes it
Yeah.
out. That's crazy. Wow. Amazing. But yeah, I'll keep in touch and see you soon. Cheers.
See you soon. Thanks, Daksh. Bye.
Bye.